planned or flexible rest days? What would you choose?
Gee, I have to choose one, huh?
Oh, you can choose whatever you think it is appropriate.
Okay. So I think they both have their places. I think that
Okay.
pre-planned rest days are very good because a lot of us would get carried away. Also, they lock you into a predictable schedule, which research and practical experience show works usually better than a floating schedule. And then sometimes, your best plans turn out that you're too highly fatigued and you'd be better off resting for a day instead of going back to the gym. So I'd say pre-plan your rest days ahead of time, 1, 2, or 3 days of rest a week, whatever you normally take. And then in an occasion, if you feel really crappy and you know you're not going to be very productive that day, take an extra rest day. And I would say so baseline of planned, peppering in as needed auto-regulated days when the time is right.
What about going on the week and say, well, I need to have like a non-negotiable 1 or 2 rest days, but I'm not going to say specifically which day it's going to be. I'm just going to sort of see where I land in terms of my energy and my fatigue and decide, well, maybe 1 in the middle of the week and maybe 1 by Sunday. Or do you think you have to, is it better to pre-plan it and say, well, every Tuesday and every Thursday, every Friday, I'm going to have a rest day?
Well, what if you took a couple rest days because you felt tired, and then you do a few training days and you feel really tired again? Would you just take rest days again, and then you have like 5 rest days in a week and only 2 training days? I don't know. I think that the method of like, I'm just going to pick my off days works okay, but then I wouldn't go on the weekly basis. I would break off from the weekly cycle and say, when I feel like going hard, I'll go hard. And when I feel like I need rest, I'll need rest. A lot of pro bodybuilders do this. Well, they'll train hard for many weeks. And I say, I need a break. So 2 or 3 days, they won't show up to the gym. They just sit at home and eat, sleep a lot, relax. They feel much better, and then they go back and smash it again. I would do it like that. So either I would have pre-planned rest days with auto-regulation sprinkled in, but if it's all auto-regulated, I would break away from the week, and then you can take advantage of situations like you didn't take any rest days this week, but you feel amazing. And just keep going. And you go 9 days with no rest, and then you start to feel like crap, and you can take some rest. That's the way auto-regulation works best. Alternatively, if you say, okay, I really do need a certain number of rest days per week, I would plan them ahead of time, and then you can auto-regulate on the fly, but I would choose some days in advance. It's okay, every Thursday and Friday is my rest day, and that, unless something really big thing happens, and I feel unbelievable, then I'm going to take that rest.
So I had a similar question to address specifically that. So in the scenario that perhaps your goal is to lose body fat, you kind of have some training session programs for today, let's say, but you're feeling tired, low energy, your body's fatigued. Do you take, for example, your options would be, do you take a pre-workout and head off to the gym and aim to do your best? You stay at home and rest, or do you kind of switch it up for a cardio session? What would be your decision depending on, well, if my goal is to lose body fat, I need to spend a certain amount of calories and stay active. Mm-hmm. Do you go in the gym and still do something? Do you rest? Do you do a cardio to at least get something? What do you do?
Yeah, good question. I'd say in most cases, you just go anyway and do pre-workout or listen to music that upsets you or something like that. And then if you have one bad day or think you might have a bad day, a lot of times you can go and show up to the gym and actually have an incredible session and hit PRs and stuff. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, that was false alarm. And then it's good that you didn't take a rest day. If you do have a bad day, you actually go and you really suck. And then you can say, well, maybe it was just a fluke. Let me try and see tomorrow how tomorrow goes. If tomorrow goes really poorly, I would just cut that workout after the warm-ups are over. It's like, okay, this is going to suck. And take the rest of that half of a week, either very easy training or no training at all, and bring the calories back up to maintenance calories. And then once you feel very recovered after half a week, and if you need more, just take a whole week of deload, then you come back and you go back on the plan again. So basically, we don't want to get into the cycle where we have an arbitrary question of, well, do I feel good enough to go to the gym today? Yeah, you'll be fine. And if you're not fine, you have enough cumulative fatigue where one day of rest isn't going to make much of a difference, right? It's kind of, if you, let's say, are trying to hit hill sprints on a bike, and you sort of ride around the hill and you go up a big hill and you ride around and you go up. If you're not hitting PRs and you're really, really degraded on the hill sprints, just riding around the bottom of the hill won't give you back any more energy. You're so tired, you need to go home and rest and sleep and eat and then come back the next day or the day after to really give it another go. Just the same way, if you're tired enough that even getting really amped up doesn't result in a good workout, is not something one day is going to fix to begin with. So you kind of go and train, and the training works both as a stimulus and a diagnostic that tells you, hey, look, I can't do this. It's if someone says, hey, I think my knee hurts, I don't think I should be squatting. Next thing you tell them is, well, try to squat up and down, see if it hurts. If they squat up and down, like, actually it doesn't hurt. Well, good news, you can go squat. But if the squatting hurts it, well, then don't squat. So I think that just going off of intuition and be like, yeah, I don't have energy today, especially when you're tired on a low-calorie diet, a lot of days feel like you can't do it. 99% of the time, for me personally, for tons of my clients and folks I'm friends with, maybe 95% of the time, they show up, they feel like crap, they still perform adequately or even superlatively. So it's one of those things I wouldn't just go based on kind of your whim. I would go on something more objective, trying it out.